Right, so we are continuing. We're going to look at another passage. This one is also on mangroves. It's on the same page that I shared with you. So let's look at this, another worked example I'm going to do here. So remember I had said that when we're looking at the passage, the paragraph, you can start with the subject and then look at the verbs, right? But look at this paragraph here. Serving as valuable nursery areas for shrimp, crustaceans, mollusks, and fishes, mangroves are a critical component of Florida's commercial and recreational fishing industry. So, why is the subject there? It starts off by saying serving as valuable nursery areas for shrimp, crustaceans, mollusks, and fishes, right? That's not the subject. The subject comes way down. Mangroves are a critical component of Florida's commercial and recreational fishing industry. See where the subject is. So the subject here would be mangroves, right? What I usually advise teachers to do is to tell students to read through the entire paragraph first. So read through the entire paragraph, get a sense of what that paragraph is about, and then we can come to do the analysis. So assuming that you have read the whole paragraph, let's look quickly here. So we know that mangroves will be the subject. I'm using, in this one I'm using, I forgot, and I'm using my purpley colored pen as for the subject, right? And I will use black for the, or maybe I can use a highlighter for the verb. Yeah. So the thing that is the subject here is mangroves, right? Now, interestingly, we get the verb to be. Mangroves are a critical component of Florida's commercial and recreational fishing industry. So the verb are means the verb to be. So mangroves are being a critical component, right? Mangroves are a critical component of the commercial and fishing industry. Why? Because, why are they critical? Because they do this. They serve as valuable nursery areas. This is my verb phrase. I'm writing in the same. That's my verb phrase here. So mangroves is the thing. This is the subject. And what are mangroves doing? Mangroves are being a critical component of commercial and recreational fishing industry in Florida. Why? Because they serve as a valuable nursery area for these life forms. This is what this is what the mangroves are doing. Is that okay so far? So we have, so in this piece here, right, so in that little block of text, what is happening? In that little block of text, we are being asked to believe, we are being told, and we've been asked to accept the fact that because mangroves serve as a nursery area for shrimp, crustaceans, mollusks, and fishes, that they are a critical component of recreational fishing and commercial fishing in Florida. Do you see that? So we came to that. Notice that, therefore, if I were to, where's my pen? I could easily do this again. So I could draw my funny looking mangrove. These are roots of the mangrove. And I want to emphasize that you do not allow students to do art in the class. It's quick. It's supposed to be quick. Right? There's a mangrove, and its mangrove is a nursery. Right? And it says they are a critical fishing and commercial importance. Yes, we have that so far. Good. So notice what I'm doing. I'm trying to sketch it. So they're nursery for these shrimp, etc. Then we go on to now. Pardon me. These habitats refers to my subject up there. So mangroves, it's called mangrove here. It comes down here, it's called these habitats. These habitats do something. What are they doing? They are providing a rich source of food. That's a verb phrase. So the mangroves do something. They're providing a rich source of food. Right? So I could draw that here. The source of food. So I could put them, well, this is food, right? Right. Food for what? To whom? Well, it says it's a source of food while offering a refuge from predation. So it does something. It offers, the next verb, offers a refuge from predation. So this is another verb phrase. Notice the verb phrases VP1, VP2. Yes? So that's why it's important. It provides a rich source of food. So it says here now, so my question was, who is it providing this source of food and refuge for predation for? Who is it doing that for? Well, snook, gray snapper, tapper, jack, sheep's head, red drum, all feed in the mangroves. So that answers my question, right? Right, now here comes my jokey fish. So I got my fish. Yeah, that's supposed to be a fish. It's supposed to be a fish. So mangroves feed. So what's happening here is that the fishes feed. I want to put that. The mangroves feed the fish, and they offer protection from predators, right? So how are we going to draw a predator? Is this a big predator coming here? Huge mouth or something? Right, so he's after the little fish. He's after the little fish. And the little fish are going into the mangrove, right? So there is protection. Protection from predation, and this is what is happening inside of the mangrove. All right. So look at what I have here. Let's look here again at the passage. Let's look at the verbs. Mangroves called habitats. What do? They serve as valuable nursery areas, right? And are critical. Why? Why are they valuable? Because they provide food and they offer refuge from predation. Is that good? Look at it here. Mangroves serve as nurseries. They provide food. They provide protection from predation. And therefore, because of those important jobs, they are critical to the commercial and recreational fishing industries in Florida, right? Do you see it? And the last thing here says Florida's fisheries. So this is Florida's fisheries would suffer a dramatic decline without access to healthy mangrove habitats. Who or what is doing what? Who or what is doing what? Florida's fisheries. Well, they would suffer dramatic decline. Would suffer a dramatic decline if they didn't have access to mangrove habitats. So, in other words then, who or what is doing what? The fisheries would decline, they would suffer decline if this thing here wasn't healthy. Is that okay so far? Look at the verbs here. suffering a dramatic decline, access to healthy mangrove habitats. Well, access here, it will be a thing, right? Suffering a dramatic. So you can see the action here is action of decline in fish reproduction if it is this. So if, in other words, if this declines, if this becomes unhealthy, then this declines. How did we arrive at that conclusion? By looking at the verbs. We are looking at suffer dramatic decline, and the business about accessing healthy mangrove habitats. All of this, however, is dependent on this easy bit up here. All right. So the piece we're really interested in up here is in the verbs, the actions that are occurring within the mangrove. All right. This is the function that the mangrove performs. It already told us that it's a valuable nursery area. So I guess we could say that we could infer that based on all the verbs that are happening here, or the actions taking place, so we could infer that mangroves are vital to the ecosystem. They're vital to humans in coastal areas. Is that all right? Thank you.